Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Shooting the Shit. I am one of the hosts, Lawrence Peterson,
I'm Jeff P.
and we are here to give you another episode to give you something to think about. Shooting the shit. So, today's topic, personality versus belief. I guess it's sort of a which came first, the chicken or the egg.
So, all right. Before we get into this, let's define these terms, right? How would you define, or create a picture for somebody when we talk about personalities?
Well, personality is just the things that make you distinct as an individual, as far as things you tend to do, what you tend to believe, the things that I guess mentally and socially make you distinct.
Okay.
Going by the big 5 aspect of personality, you have like 5 different personality traits, which is agreeableness, which breaks down into everything breaks down into two. Every trait breaks down into 2 things from that trait. So agreeableness is compassion and politeness. Conscientiousness is industrialness and orderliness. Extroversion is enthusiasm and assertiveness. Neuroticism is withdrawal and volatility. And open to experience is openness and intellect. So it's basically like everybody has these 5 core traits, and then these core traits breaks down into 2 majority things within them, and then it breaks down to percentages. So everybody has those 5 within them, and then your percentages vary. You might be 20% here, 30% there, but you usually always have some major traits overall too. So it's going to be some where you're like 80, 100, stuff like that. And then some you might be 2 and 4.
So these top 5, this Jordan Peterson, not Carl Jung, right? Because I know it's different ones. Than
Jordan Peterson,
or this is different.
I don't believe he created the big 5 personality aspect. It might have been Carl Jung, but he I think he was the one to put together the test for it. But I think the original concept of it is might have been broken down by Carl Jung. But there are other different personality tests as well. So,
well, no, that's what I was asking, because when you were naming off the 5, I was wondering if those were I don't know. I mean,
the
I'm
original
not sure.
ones.
Well, I mean, and it might be different. Like maybe this is what Jordan, because he's a very smart guy. I mean, all right, maybe,
extremely,
and he has his clinical practice. I mean, maybe this is what he saw over a wider pattern, why he used these select ones. And that. But please, continue.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. In all honesty, I don't know.
Okay.
I assume these are pretty much the basic.
But this is scale we're going to use.
Yes, the scale we're going to use. I think everybody works off the same scale, but you might
different nomenclature, whatever.
do your own twerks on it and stuff.
Okay, gotcha.
But this is probably pretty much the scale agreed upon by psychologists and whatnot.
So if somebody wanted to take the Big 5 test themselves, where would you direct them to go? If they want to do it after the episode or whatnot.
I did mine at understandingmyself.com, which is the Jordan Peterson one.
We're not affiliated by that.
We do not get paid for it or anything like that. But you can just Google personality tests. They have some you can just take free online. They have some you can pay for. The ones you pay for, I think tend to be more accurate because they tend to put a lot more into it. But yeah, I mean, you can just Google it and you can get it, no problem.
Okay, I mean, this is helpful because if you find interest and you want to actually dive into that, boom, there go a couple avenues of approach. You can go ahead and explore a little more further.
Yes. So I took mine because I am one of my favorite subjects. Like, I'm always interested in learning more about myself. and I did find that it was very helpful. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't know. Like, I didn't really know how the personality broke down beforehand. And then after reading it and kind of giving it some thought, I understand a lot more of my strengths. But more importantly, I understood a lot more of my weaknesses too. And like, I understood why I did certain things, and, you know, like things that I just, it didn't. Sometimes you do some stuff that you don't know why you did.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're like, why did I react like that? So it helped me out a lot in that aspect, you know.
Give you a little more context on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sort of like, it. In all honesty, I look at it as, you know how you get a car, and then most people probably don't do this, but you get a car, you get an owner's manual, you can read for the owner's manual. You know, I don't know how many times I've been driving a car, and you be like, what does this button do? And why, you know, I accidentally hit this button and the car did something, but I don't know what it did. Right. You know what I mean?
Why does, like, what is this symbol indicating?
Right. And it's like, I didn't read the manual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know anybody that really actually ever sat down and read the whole manual. So I looked at this as a bit of a manual to myself.
Okay.
So, you know, I wouldn't say it's the sole everything of me as a person, but it, like I said, it definitely helped me understand certain things about myself. So I found it a very useful tool.
No, that's cool. Because I think we all need those little guardrails, you know, to help us along on our path, right? So that's cool. Now, before we move on, what did you find yourself being identified as?
Well, open to experience was the highest thing, the highest of all 5 aspects, which I kind of knew that was going to be the case because I've always been in art. I've always been a creative person. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to have that hands down. What I did not expect was open experience breaks down to openness and intellect. Intellect, I would not have given myself. Like, if you had asked me, wouldn't have thought, no, I'm not a particularly intelligent person or anything like that. What I found out was the intellect part rated higher than the openness. And looking at that, and then looking at some of the things that I was doing, the things that interest me, it just made sense. Like, oh shit! Like I said, I never realized certain parts about me, so that shocked me. Also, other things like industrialness, conscientiousness. Like, I'm very hardworking, dedicated, really strongly as far as like being honorable and stuff like that. Right. If I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. I mean, these are like things that I didn't really realize about myself. That once I got it on the paper, I was like, because when I first got the thing, I was like, well, all right, obviously I'm gonna agree with the artistic stuff. I see that for myself, but the other things, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't really know. And then looking at it, I'm like, all right, I can kind of see that. And when I did mine, it was a special where you can get one free. So I was like, all right, I had my wife do it. Now, interesting thing was she didn't agree with hers at all. And then I read hers. I agree with that shit 100%. So it's like, you don't see yourself how others see yourself, but other people often see things about you that you don't see.
And I agree with that.
Yeah. So like when I saw that, I was like, this shit is 100% accurate. She's like, oh, I don't see it. I'm like, I know you. This shit is 100% accurate. So it was like, all right, well, if hers is accurate and we took the same test, it's a good chance mine is accurate too, So like I said, it just gave me a better understanding of a lot of different aspects of myself.
Okay. And you definitely how you would encourage people to.
I would. I got a lot out of it, but I mean, it's like anything. You're only gonna get what you. If you're not open to, you're like, oh, personality tests are just bullshit. Then obviously you ain't gonna get nothing out of it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money.
Right.
But I mean, if you're curious and you're open to the idea that it might be of use, yes, I would recommend it.
Okay. So everybody, we got another tool for introspection. A personality test. Okay. So
All right. Well, since we defined the personality aspect, how do you define belief?
all right. For me, beliefs are the stories that we tell ourselves, right? It's how we shape our world. So a belief will be, as a kid, I don't know about you, I wouldn't want to be in my room, sitting with my feet dangling off the edge, near the bottom where, something was under there. Right. Or it was a boogeyman in the closet, right? Or whatever, right? Everybody had some little fear when in their youth, right? And we have fears as we age. They just change, right? Whereas for me, it's no longer the boogeyman or something inside of that closet. Because I can open up the closet and have my pistol out, or have a stick so they gonna run into whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas that little kid still might want mommy or daddy to come in there and leave the light on, or read them a story, or stay with them until they go to sleep. But that belief changes as we grow. How do I mean? All right. Let's use this as an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just had two different people take the test, right? You and your significant other. Now, the observations were different. Nah, this is not me, and this is me, right? Two different beliefs held by two different people.
Mm-hmm.
Can you change someone else's belief? I don't believe you can. I think it's something they do. Are they going to, like you said, if you don't believe in it, you're not going to be open to it. But if it's somebody talking to you that's like, I admire and respect this person, I'm going to at least listen. You're going to listen to read. You might still walk away with the same beliefs. That story nah, that's bullshit. Nah, that's not how that works. No. Oh, you know what? Yes, you're right. Eating an apple might help me go to the bathroom. Whatever it is. And so for me, that's what beliefs are. And this is why I think it's so important, because what you're telling yourself, you are telling yourself. You create those beliefs. You create that story. Now, it's going to change and be interpreted differently based on the experience. You both took the test, right? Different results, different experiences, different answers and inputs being placed inside of doing the test, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you were taking the test for her, wouldn't the results came out differently? And she would take the test, trying to think for you when the test came out differently?
Yes.
But it's the same test, same two people, just different results. It's based on, like you said, we don't see ourselves the same way that other people. So she gonna see some stuff about you that like we said, I wasn't thinking myself. I'm thinking bullshit. Right. That's immediately my belief, my story. Like,
right.
You're a smart guy. Like, of course. I'm rambling, but for me, that's what beliefs are. Beliefs are the stories and the interpretations that you have about what you experience or what you think about in life. Mm-hmm. I mean, it can go a little further into the, 3 principles or whatnot, but I think that's a good starting point. So,
wait, there are 3 principles of belief?
Well, the three principles of thoughts, consciousness, and mind, right? The way you think about something. We've all had to go to the bathroom, right? Now, it's a difference between, I just woke up in the morning, I'm about to go to the bathroom, as opposed to you're on a long road trip and you've been drinking that water to help stay awake, right? Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you got to go, but next road stop is not for X amount of miles, right?
Right.
It's a different urgency. It's a different feeling. It's a different intensity involved in it. Whereas if we've all had that time where we had to go to the bathroom, but it's like, all right, I got to hold it for now. I can't, I'm in the middle of a meeting or whatever, right? It's like, all right, I could wait till later on. But if you just think about it and you're doing that dancing thing, it's a different, now that's the only thing on your mind, whereas now I'm going to finish this talk, then I got to get these people, then I'm going to go. So the thoughts lead to your feelings, right? And it could be changed. Whereas the consciousness is us becoming aware of what we thinking. You don't think about every thought you have.
True.
But some thoughts are on your mind. Man, I can't believe this motherfucker said that shit to me. You know, like, and it might ruin your day. You know, or like, I can't. Man, I heard the funniest thing yesterday. Right? It'll change your mood. So that thought led to your feelings, but you had to become conscious of it. And sometimes you're not even conscious of it, which leads up to the universal mind, right? Which is that interpretation or that manifestation of it. You might become aware. I can't believe this Joker said that to me, right? You know what? I'm not gonna let him mess up my day. And you might think about it a couple more times, but you're gonna go on whatever you gotta do, right? Whereas like the other person might, or you might be in another mood, you know, you'd be like, I can't believe this motherfucker. I got something for his ass. And now you on plot mode, like, I'm gonna get back. But same situation, different beliefs, different thoughts led to different feelings, different awareness led to a different result, outcome, or whatnot. Mm-hmm. So this is why, when we was talking before, we were talking off camera about personality versus belief, and why you said the chicken versus the egg is, we're kind of talking about the same thing, but different, you know?
Different, yeah. Because you went kind of deep with that. I was like, oh, shit. Like, definitely stuff I hadn't considered when you broke it down in 3 different aspects. I'm like, all right, I know what you mean. But at the same time, like, I never thought that deep about it. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. That's like, I advise you guys to take a second. And you might want to rewind and get at some thought, because you kind of lost me a little bit on that one, but did bring it back. You know, like you went a little deep on that. So you believe the belief comes first, and then that dictates the actions and the personality. Is that how you structure it?
I think the thoughts come first.
Okay.
Right? The thoughts, let's go back to the boogeyman idea, right? Everybody's had some little fear when they were a kid. Most people, I say most people, right?
Yeah.
And that cracked door in your bedroom, I want it closed. Some people want it open. You know, they wasn't going to inspect it. You know, it depends on your belief. Are you going to fight the problem, or are you going to run from it? Mm-hmm. At that time, I want to close the door. You got to open the door in order to come get me. You're going to make it know what's going on.
Right.
Some people want it open. I want to see it as they coming out. Give them a barrier. Different thoughts led to a different end result, or a different barrier for them to overcome, right? Even though it's no boogeyman. But you get what I'm saying. Mm. So I think the thought comes first. And some people are still scared of stuff like that to this day, right? They got their own fears, which leads up to a belief. That repeated thought and that conscious awareness of that thought, you know, like, some people are scared to talk to girls, right? It's like, man, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say.
Right.
But how many times do you have conversations, you know? So is that thought going to be, I don't know what to say, or, fuck it, she's bad, I need to go over there and say something to her, right? If I don't, be kicking myself all freaking day. Mm. So it's a different belief. People, we all had that feeling like, man, I should have said something to that girl, man. I know I'm not going to see her no more,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But it's like, man, after so many times, certain people will be like, I'm not going to let the opportunity pass me no more. I'm about to go engage that. So your thoughts then change based off of your results, which give you that belief. So you can, this is what I said about you change your own beliefs. Mm-hmm. You still might not know what you're going to say to that person. You still might be scared of X, Y, Z. But your reaction to it is up to you. You get to change that. You get to alter it. Hmm. So this is what I want to ask you about personalities. Mm-hmm. So is it that once you have a personality, is it able to be augmented? Can you change it? Can you alter? How does that occur?
I think your personality is sort of like your default setting. and then you it can be changed over time, but it's still your default setting. So like, I'm an introvert. All right, I'm in my head almost all the time. I've never been good with talking to people, having conversations, stuff like that. And as you can see now, obviously, I've gotten much more better at that. I can talk to people, I can approach people, have conversations, but I'm still an introvert. I've just expanded, I guess, my skill set to be able to do certain things. So some of that is being exposed to environments where I had to adapt, and some of that is like with the situation with the girl. Like, man, all right, I'm not gonna see her no more. Like, I've been in this scenario many times. I'm not gonna see her no more, and I like her, so I need to approach now, or I'm not gonna get this opportunity again.
Right.
So it is similar like that. Like, all right, look, cause and effect. I've seen this scenario play out many times. It doesn't work well for me in the end. So let's change this shit.
Right.
But everybody doesn't do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it depends on how you gonna, if you're gonna change or if you're gonna get over your fear. You know what I'm saying? How are you gonna interpret that? You know, some people, they just,
The fear is too much.
the fear is too much. Yeah. You know, so.
And see, that was my problem, and that's the clarification I'm trying to get. Because that was my big gripe with personalities. I'm thinking it's like the Aristotle and Socrates thing, like, right? Fate is who you are, and this is the only life you can live. But so much changes, right? Like, I mean,
Yes.
you can read stuff, you can go and meet different people, you put yourself in different groups. So I see how I could change, and that's my my disconnect.
I see why that would be an issue, and I agree. I agree with you said Socrates and Aristotle said like this is the fate, this is what it's going to be. But at the same time, what you said like experiences and stuff change you. I think it's both. I think your personality attracts you towards certain things. Like attracts like. So I agree. If all right, if I'm a intellectual person and I'm into reading and other things, you know, my destination is going to be further along that line. Okay, but how I go upon that path is going to vary. You know, it could be I go to college. I follow the strictly straight typical line, and I get a career. Maybe I become a professor or something because whatever field interests me, or I could work in some totally different field, but still that intellectual aspect is still what's pushing me. Excuse me, because maybe I got introduced with something along the way, or maybe I went to college and then I got into a environment where people was more intellectual than I am, and then I couldn't take it, or that changed me in some way, and then I ended up going in a different field. So I think if you have a river and you know how there are rocks and stuff in the river, and you go down the river, and maybe I was about to say a rabbit. The current takes you in a different direction. It might pull you over here or pull you over there, but you're still in the same river.
Right.
That's what I think it is.
Okay.
So that's like if the river is life, and you got that, your personality is pushing you along this road. It might veer off in different directions, but you're still along that road. Also, you got to take into account you have 5 different aspects to your personality, which vary along level. So if you got 5 and you go from here to here, but one you might be up here, and another one you might be down here, and all those different things, which are what make you individual, changes your interaction with people, changes your path slightly. You know, like Peterson says that being strong in certain traits will make you. He can predict what you're going to be, political wise. Like you're going to be this kind. You might be a Republican. You might be a Democrat. You might be this. You might be that. And he says because certain aspects of your personality, which I was like, wow, that's interesting. When I sat down and looked at it, I can kind of see what he's saying. Mm-hmm. But even if you got, all right, if you got a basic party, a Republican and Democrat, even among those people, they don't all necessarily, they're not all the exact same person. They don't all necessarily hold the exact same structure. They just, in general, believe this, and they just, in general, believe this. So that's what I think. I think it just varies. You're in the same river, but there's still different wavelengths. I don't know, like a spider web, I guess. You know, you got a spider web. It's all the same web, but it spreads out, and there are different things on it, different levels and different intersections.
Okay.
So I think I think both of those things are right. I think in a way you might be fated to follow your personality, but that's not 1 to 10. That's not necessarily a straight line or necessarily what it's exactly going to be. You know what I mean? I mean, if you look at like family, you might have siblings all raised by the same parents, but you might get total different personalities. But you all come from the same place. You all come from typically the same environment. So how do you get 3 different people? You know, I would say it's similar akin to that. Like, there's so many variables, it's hard to predict what's going to be. But at the same time, there are similarities there.
See, and that's definitely something I agree with. And even if we put it on a bigger scale, right? The high school you went to, the college you went to, the street you lived on at a certain age, right? It was other kids probably the same age as you would go to the park and play and all that. Different thing. You're right, it's different variables, right? What's inside one refrigerator is not inside the next refrigerator, right? Maybe they vegans, maybe they Seventh-day, whatever, right? And you all can get different results every single time, even if it's the same household, right? Like, it's going to be different. And that's one of the major points that I definitely agree with you on. That those variables are going to say a lot, and it's going to produce a lot. But this is where I think the belief comes back into it, right? 9/11. Let's use 9/11 as an example, right? When that happened, it shocked a lot of the world, right? Some people's like, man, I'm about to go join the military for that. Other people, man, it's not safe. We're not flying on any planes. We're going to be driving more. Another person might say, you know what? I'm about to go join the fire department. I want to be able to help and rescue people and so on and so forth, right? Mm-hmm. The stimulus, get a different result. The personality, the belief, that point in time where you at. Maybe you are more senior in age and you just can't do that. You don't have that maneuverability. But can I go back and guess? I was reading about this one guy with the Oklahoma bombing, right? He couldn't do nothing else but be one of the people that talk to the survivors, and go and let the families know what's going on. He volunteered to, I think that would be a very difficult thing to go do. Like, look, your people's gone and they're not coming back. Yeah. What is it that you want? Whatever will go on with that. It's like, you're right, though. A lot of other people could have did that. But I guarantee you it wasn't that many volunteers, people saying, I want to do that.
Yeah, I doubt it.
But it's a good way to help. And how many lives did he impact by doing that, And then could that not later inspire somebody, I want to become a therapist, a trauma specialist or something like that, right? Yep.
I would guess that guy was a very compassionate guy.
He is. Very much so, yeah.
Now, I would guess a guy who was a very disagreeable guy wouldn't have taken that stance He might lean more towards I'm joining the military.
We're gonna kill
Fuck that. We're gonna
right.
fuck these motherfuckers up.
Right, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
Right.
the personality, if you get the same cause, but the effect might be different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Depending on, I think the personality is like how you interpret certain situations. If almost as if your personality was your filter with how you filter life. So if I give you this, give him this, and give him that, and each of y'all got your own filter, some stuff can get filtered out of you, other stuff might not get filtered out of him, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So it just, that's the way I kind of look at it. Like it's gonna affect how you interpret it, how you see so many things. And I was thinking about that because I'm like, a lot of times it seemed like what you, particularly in political parties, but it could also be in like religious beliefs and stuff like that. A lot of times it seemed like what you seeing, if you look at it on more of a larger scale, is personalities fighting other personalities. It's not necessarily like you got good people over here and good people over there, but it's really, I'm this personality, and I'm this personality, and my personality is better. Fuck your personality, and vice versa. And it seems like that's what's playing out on a more grand scale. Even though if you look at it individually, it's just different people, you know. So that's what I think it is. It's a filter.
You know what I'm hearing every time? So the personality is the proclivity. Your general interest. Like, what are you more likely to favor or to tend?
Yes.
Because as you was just explaining that, I kept thinking like, you use the politics and religion, right? We're this personality, and we're this personality.
Mm-hmm.
Islam and Judaism, and whatever. Yeah, they got different tenets and principles, but I mean they kind of are
very similar,
right? And as I'm hearing you saying that, I'm thinking the story that we tell ourselves is that Muhammad lived so X, Y, Z, right? Mm-hmm. And what we're telling ourselves is that, hey, we're the original people, and I mean, there could be crosstalk like, well, this is not true, or this is true. I agree with this. I don't agree with that, right? Mm-hmm. It's still a story that they telling themselves. Because, like you said, in that same party, right? These are all five guys. These are top five guys for that party or that organization, right? Mm-hmm. But each one of these fingers could do something different. They think and move completely different, right? Mm-hmm. Based on their proclivities, their tendencies, the things they favor, the stories that they tell themselves, right? What helps them go to bad guys doing bad things. Some of them still go to sleep at night with no problem, right? Mm-hmm. They call that the I forget what they call it, but when you just got no remorse and no guilt when you
like a
sociopath. Right, yeah. Right?
I think I know one, honestly, but yeah.
Funny story is, that made me go back and look at the accountant, like, why that movie? You have no problem with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's people, 4% of the population is like that.
Yeah.
They have no guilt, no remorse about anything that was like, I think that'd be a burden to have,
It's said that a lot of CEOs are sociopaths. Dude, you're at the top of a pyramid, a company, and maybe you got like 500,000 people working for you. How do you say, lay off that whole division and like not give no thought? That's all people who are supporting families.
Right.
You don't give no thought
Take away
about
livelihood.
Yeah, just cut that off. No problem. We good. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just destroyed somebody like without any thought.
Right.
So yeah, I agree.
And this is why when you made the comment, the chicken or the egg, it's we're going back and forth.
It's
the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's
It's just like different points of view. Yes, I agree with the same
I think it's
thing.
interesting.
Yes,
you know?
yes. Because I mean, I think, like you said, beliefs. I think the personality dictates the belief, but at the same time, you saying the same thing. You just think the personality is dictated by the belief. So you're saying like, well, this part came first, and I'm saying this part came first, which I think, like you said, is different approach either way, but it's very similar. It's pretty much the same thing. Now, my daughter, I find this fascinating. My daughter, I don't have much experience with babies. I've been around babies or whatever, but obviously this is my first kid. My daughter. All right. You know how you got a kid and you don't have the kid. Your girl has the kid. But a thought of you, I don't give a fuck who you are, even if it's just 1%. A part of you occurs to you, and is that your kid? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Not that you really invest time in it, but a thought of you occurs to you, all right?
Could they have switched the babies out?
Right, anything.
Right, yeah.
Right. So, this is how I knew exactly. I was like, yeah, that's my daughter, man. Like, it wasn't even disputable. Like, she doesn't really cry. She cries very little. She'll, like, when they go to take her temperature or something, she'll cry if you put something cold. They put it like in between your arm. She'll cry that, like, it's something cold on my body. Get that shit off me. All right. Other than that, she doesn't really cry. But that's not even what got me. It's her temperament. Like, she's very chill. She's very relaxed, laid back. It don't matter really what you doing to her. She's just kind of like, all right, you washing me, you bathing me. All right, I see you. What's going on over there? What's this? What's that? What's this? Like, she's very inquisitive. She's just very chill, relaxed. I've never seen a baby like that. Like, babies usually cry. You know what I'm saying? They cry like you change your diaper. They like to say, look, they're either hungry, or you change their diaper, or they're uncomfortable. Those three like main reasons why they cry. My baby don't really cry for any of those reasons. Like, even when she's hungry, she just wake up and just look at you like, so where my fucking food at? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was just like, when I saw that, I was like, that's me. Like, I've never seen that. I recognize myself immediately when I see that. And I'm just like, without a doubt. Now, that's from birth. She has no concept of what belief is.
Right.
Yeah, the slate is completely clean. That's when I was like, yeah, personality shit is real. Like, how you define, like, that was like all the proof I needed. Like, I don't know who you're going to be when you grow up, but I can tell kind of what some of your tendencies are going to be. Like, maybe which way you're going to lean on certain things. What kind of a person you're going to be. I'm betting she's going to be an intellectually curious person. I'm a very strong intellectually curious person. And I'm like, I see that in me. And also that calmness, that very like laid back. I'm really low in neuroticism. Like, it takes a lot for something to piss me off. And even when something pisses me off, it's gone. Like, 2 minutes later, I'm over it. Like, it doesn't really stick. I'm very mellow. Calm under pressure. I see that with her. So I'm like, that's from birth. That's blank slate right there. And like I said, I've never seen a baby like that. So I was just like, yeah, that's mine all day long. It ain't really nothing I could.
You know what? I kind of want to put this out there because I haven't completed the thought and connected it all.
Sometimes talking it will help you, though.
I had this belief, right, that immortality is a real thing. and this is what I mean. Every time we have children, right? Your lineage, your forefathers and so on and so forth. Even though you got two different sides, right? You got a mother and a father that come together, and it creates a whole new link inside the chain, right? One of my beliefs is, and I'm still working this out, is that every time that you create offspring, right, your generational line extends and lengthens, that is you reincarnating yourself inside of a new person, right? But like you said, it's different. What do I mean? Inside my son, I see stuff too. It's like, man, you got that from daddy. Like this dude, he's punching and kicking walls, right? He got his hand caught in the door, right? He's trying to learn how to open up doors. He get his hand caught in the door. I'm just looking at him. He look around. Oh, daddy's not mad about it? Or, you know what I'm saying, daddy's not running over here to see me? All right, don't worry about it. You slammed pretty hard that door on your freaking hand, right? This dude will take pain and keep going. All right, my objective is this. I am on this mission. I'm not about to abort this mission. The mission is to get out and run around the house. You know what I'm saying? This door slamming on my hand is not part of the mission. Let's get back to the mission, right? And just like you said,